Welcome to Skytech-Lens. The recent fallout between the United States and Canada over a submarine contract has set a new standard for political drama. Former U.S. President Donald Trump demanded Canada award a $20 billion submarine contract exclusively to American shipyards, framing it as a test of loyalty. However, Canada refused, choosing Germany's ThyssenKrupp marine systems and South Korea's Hanwha Ocean as contenders for its submarine project. This decision was a powerful political statement, signaling Canada's commitment to its national interests and strategic autonomy. Announced in Berlin, the move underscored Canada's pivot away from the U.S., showcasing its commitment to forging stronger ties with other global partners. The rejection shattered the U.S. assumption of automatic deference, leaving American officials scrambling. This diplomatic rupture was the culmination of years of simmering tensions exacerbated by Trump's America First policies. By blocking the American bid, Canada redefined its relationship with the U.S., prioritizing its own industrial and strategic goals. The decision was not just about choosing a supplier but about charting a new, independent course on the world stage. The era of automatic deference to Washington was over, marking a significant shift in the U.S. Canada Defence relationship. This move left American defense executives reeling from the loss of a contract once considered a certainty. The decision was a reaction to a pattern of behavior that Ottawa viewed as detrimental to Canadian interests. Canada's choice was a bold step towards industrial sovereignty and strategic autonomy. Canada's need for a new submarine fleet is driven by aging technology and strategic necessity. The Royal Canadian Navy's Victoria-class submarines, acquired second-hand, are nearing the end of their service life. With 3 coastlines, Canada faces evolving maritime threats, particularly in the Arctic, where Russia and China are expanding their presence. A modern submarine fleet is essential for asserting Canadian sovereignty and protecting its northern flank. The Canadian Patrol Submarine Project aims to procure up to 12 new boats, securing Canada's future as a maritime power. Vice Admiral Angus Topshee emphasizes building a domestic capacity for submarine maintenance and innovation. The project is about revitalizing the Royal Canadian Navy and safeguarding Canadian sovereignty. Canada's rejection of the American submarine bid sent shockwaves through the U.S. defense industry. The $20 billion contract was expected to sustain thousands of jobs and support a network of suppliers. The primary victims were shipyards like General Dynamics Electric Boat and Huntington Ingalls Industries, which faced an immediate crisis. The loss cascaded through supply chains, affecting steel mills and technological sectors poised to benefit from the project. The decision meant lucrative, high-tech work would go to foreign competitors, representing a direct economic loss. Small and medium-sized enterprises supplying components faced an existential threat. The interconnected U.S. defense industry felt the far-reaching consequences of losing a major deal. The loss illustrated the vulnerability of relying on a single major contract. The blocked deal highlighted the deep interconnection of the U.S. defense industry. The economic impact of Canada's decision translated into anxiety for American workers and their communities. In cities like Groton and Newport News, the local economy is tied to shipyard fortunes. The loss of the Canadian contract threatened livelihoods, with union leaders warning of layoffs. Steel towns in the Rust Belt, already enduring industrial decline, felt a sense of betrayal. The human cost extends beyond job losses, affecting entire communities reliant on defense contracts. Families face relocation, uprooting children from schools and leaving behind familiar communities. The uncertainty creates a climate of fear, paralyzing local economies. This situation highlights the vulnerability of towns reliant on a single industry. Workers in shipyards and steel mills bear the brunt of diplomatic failures. For them, the blocked deal is about securing a future for their families. The political fallout in Washington was swift and furious. Trump accused Canada of betrayal, threatening tariffs and a re-evaluation of the defense relationship. Republicans echoed Trump's narrative, blaming Canada for jeopardizing a critical alliance. Democrats blamed Trump, arguing his policies created the hostile environment leading to the contract loss. Canada defended its decision as a matter of sovereign right and industrial strategy. Prime Minister Mark Carney emphasized the fair and transparent procurement process. Ottawa remained committed to the shortlisted German and South Korean bids. The submarine contract dispute is rooted in a bitter trade war. Trump's tariffs on Canadian steel and aluminum baffled Ottawa, seen as protectionist tactics. The tariffs created resentment, as steel and aluminum are crucial for submarine construction. Canada retaliated with countermeasures, escalating the trade dispute. The toxic atmosphere poisoned high-level negotiations, including the submarine contract. The trade dispute altered the relationship dynamic, replacing cooperation with confrontation. Awarding the contract to the U.S. became politically untenable for Canada. The tariffs were the spark that ignited the submarine crisis. Canada's decision marks a historic break from entrenched defense cooperation with the U.S. The U.S. was the default supplier for major military hardware, fostering dependency. Excluding the U.S. from the submarine project signals a pivot towards industrial sovereignty. Canada aims to build a robust domestic defense industry through technology transfer agreements. Vice Admiral Angus Topshee envisions a strategic partnership with increasing Canadian content. This shift represents a re-evaluation of the U.S. Canada alliance. Ottawa is exploring new alliances and supply chains. Bypassing the U.S. Canada prioritizes its national industrial strategy and defense policy. Canada's decision has global repercussions, watched closely by U.S. allies. Canada provides an example of defying American demands and charting its own course. This act may embolden other countries to take a similar stand. The strategic beneficiaries are America's rivals, China and Russia, exploiting alliance cracks. A weakened U.S. defense base is a strategic win for Beijing and Moscow. The episode tests the U.S. model of global alliances, questioning its industrial ties. Canada shows it's possible to remain a committed ally while rejecting American industrial primacy. Canada's decision forces the U.S. defense establishment into introspection. The Pentagon faces an economic and strategic challenge, filling the production gap. Emergency federal funding may be needed, adding to the national deficit. A slowdown in production lines threatens jobs and delays submarine delivery. The long-term risk is the erosion of the U.S. defense industry's competitive edge. The Canadian deal warns that American industrial dominance is no longer assured. The crisis raises questions about America's technological leadership. Allies cultivating their own capabilities may diminish U.S. research and development advantages. The incident forces the U.S. to reconsider how it leads alliances, respecting partners' aspirations. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel for more updates.